Well, a very good morning and welcome to the Canadian premiere here at Thunderbird, part of Major League Show Jumping Week, and already the culmination of the week for the two-star classes, two-star Grand Prix, and with a time allowed of 87 seconds over 13 fences. The jump-off class that will conclude the two stars for the week is almost set to go. Big day of sport here for us as well this afternoon. Into the team jumping for the Major League Series. Stage 1 of that comes up at 5 o'clock local time. I'll let you work that back, whatever your local time is. But go along to the app, Major League Show Jumping app, or you can go onto the website, and that will give you the rundown on what to expect and where you are. And so what can we expect this morning? Well, we expect a first round of this class to see 46 go in this two-star Grand Prix, and starting with Jesus Francisco Rantes and Wisconsin PS on the 9-year-old here for the rider featuring in Mexico City a few weeks ago, on to the Nations Cup show just before that down in Mexico. A whole list of these shows on the Mexican tour to start off the season, taking them through February, March and April. And of course Mexico is a stage, several stages in fact, of Major League jumping later on into the year, at the other end of the year, up into the fall or the autumn, pick whichever word you prefer, but basically it's October, November time, and we'll be heading to San Miguel de Allende and also on to Monterrey as well. So Peter Grant is our course designer here this week, also alongside Megan Rawlins and Peter Wong for our course designing team for this set of classes, and of course Peter heading up for those 5-star classes as well. So our trailblazer unfortunately has the fence down at the triple combination there, coming off the line early on into the course. Planks, and again just gets them a long stride off there to the Oxer, and just as Planks gives them a big shot over there over the vertical. A couple of these lines, be interested to see they play with the distances. That looks as though it's going to be the 4 strides, the Major League vertical. Roll back then to this triple bar, again being the first one out. A little bit difficult for them in terms of getting a gauge on time. Just trying to take a pull as they come into this double. Unfortunately drop short on the back bar there, as they're just trying to take the pace off. A little bit of a curve into the line to the next to the Marble Hill vertical after that, and that will roll you on to the last couple on course here. Time allowed already sitting at 80 seconds, time allowed of 87. A long run to the last to this grade vertical at the finish. Wrong way to set up for this one. And just a little touch there. Unfortunately, just enough to take them out of the cups. Will leave them on a score of 12. Unfortunately, just falling into that triple combination. Did well to get back for the second part, and deep into the water tray. So leaving them with time to add in there as well. An overall score of 23 on 93.87 for Jesus Francisco Rantes and Wisconsin PS as the first to go in this 2-star Grand Prix here, as I say, one of the 2 big classes of the day here on the turf. Part of 2 weeks of competition here at Thunderbird as well. This opening stage, though, of Major League show jumping is the concentration for week 1 here in the Fort Arena. This beautiful grass arena has been wet over the last few days, but now drying conditions overnight, which is good. And I think we're hopefully, fingers crossed, set fair for the next few hours. Anyway, we'll get through today and hopefully keep a dry head right the way through it. So first one completed, a little bit of review and analysis going on down at the in-gate as they come under the jury box there into this beautiful arena. Jade Tidball, the whole family here, and the team here at T-Bird as ever, keeping to the highest standards. Wonderful showground to be around, lots of rings all in full flow, going to be going all day here. And it is stacked to the rafters, which is great to see, and well deserved on this well presented showground and well run shows throughout the next few weeks. Of course, big season here over the coming weeks here in British Columbia. As I say, we're going to 5-star next week as well, and then busy throughout. Seen World Cups here, we've seen Nations Cups here, and now the addition of Major League jumping. Rowan Willis has competed in pretty well all of those. Ashton Dakota for the Australian. Now US based, spent a long time based in the UK. World Championships and competed in 2018. And of course just a few weeks ago was on top form in Kentucky. Finishing top 5 with the Super Blue Movie in the Grand Prix there as part of the Kentucky 3-day event there as well. Ashton Dakota just been getting a little bit more exposure into these big classes as well, jumping throughout the winter down in Florida, various venues there through 2 and 3 star. Actually jumped here last year as well, finishing 4th in the World Cup qualifier. And Rowan might give us a good gauge on time here as well. Just sits up to get the vertical, the first part of the triple combination. Again, just not wanting to get too far forward down that line as it just leads you down there. Gets forward to, and launches at the Oxer. Now the key part is getting them back together. Just pace and exuberance taking over there, Rowan. Just calming things down back now on the roll back here to the triple. And then here's just where they're putting a little bit of curve in the line through the double, and then just moves off to the right side for this vertical. Now this last line, Rowan just calming down the fire and jump in this super horse, but unfortunately just a couple of exuberant errors in there, leaves them on a score of 12. Just going to be over that time allowed as well for Rowan Willis and Ashton Dakota. Takes them on to 88.35 as the time comes through for them. So a score of 14 overall, 3 down and a couple for time 2. It is 1 for 1 in terms of time, so 1 time penalty, 1 time fault for every second commenced over the time allowed. That's how the rules have changed this year under the FEI. So if you're wondering where some of those scores come from, that's where that comes from in terms of time. A little bit different to the previous 1 in 4. Rolling on now to James Brennan of Ireland, the Crook Show Jumping's at Milton. Not the original Milton, but a very talented one indeed for the Irish rider, also US based as well for the Crook Show Jumping. Crook Show Jumping also a super supporter here in Traverse City. James has been so very good at producing young horses through. Just hesitant there coming into the vertical. James riding this horse that his wife Lauren has ridden, and unfortunately gets stuck into that first part as well. I might actually say, I think we're going to call it a day. Yeah, just not really enjoying themselves this morning. So hand up and deciding to retire there for James Brennan, our third out with Milton. So 3 gone in this opening 2-star Grand Prix so far. Very swiftly takes us on to Shauna Cook for the Canadian rider. Chance for the home side to put a good solid run together. Last international appearances were in Spruce Meadows last year in September. Of course, they ran several shows back to back there. Last year, a very different schedule for many of the shows and riders and how that all came together. Now starting to settle down a little bit more. Shauna, hopefully to give us a good idea with this 11-year-old for the Gallup Syndicate. Actually Dutch bred by Hickstead out of Rosalie, that was by Rush Hour. Just getting them into a decent rhythm down that triple combination. Just hovers over that last part and has that down. Just pushing in that little last few strides just to get across the Oxer then at 6. It should be the 5 strides down that distance. I don't want to drift too far. There's a roll back around this show plus fence. There's a little cut inside back to the triple, which they should be able to do with ease. Then across the centre here. This is causing a few problems so far for that middle double. So rolling them up to a score of 16 so far. Little touch on the Oxer, and then they can really run down to the last. Going to be close on the time so far, but that's going to be 86.59. So first one to just touch inside that time allowed of 87, 86.59 for Shauna Cook and Gallup, the Gallup Syndicate. Nice easy name for a horse. And for them so far, it is a lineup, an interesting lineup of scores so far, 14, 16 and 23. I think that's all going to be changing around very shortly. Daniel Coyle, Ariel Grange is Ivory TCS for the Canadian owner, for the Irishman in the saddle here. And now for the 9-year-old Dutch bred ride by Feliz de Muse. Daniel with plenty of wins behind him for the Irishman, also based in the US as well, as he has been for quite some time now, or the majority of his sport takes there. On the European Championship team last year for the Irish. Finished well in the Rolex Grand Prix in Wellington. Back into April, into 4th place there with Legacy that we saw jumping in the 5-star yesterday. Ivory TCS also getting some good miles on the clock there in Florida in the early part of the year also. That was the horse that he rode to a nice win in Live Oak in Ocala. Also went on to win the big class there that week. There we go, nice run down, balanced run down that 5-stride distance, the Morningstar Oxer. Daniel actually coming on the very tight line, but again he's coming back to a triple bar, should be able to get deep into that and work okay, and this horse again has had a bit more exposure into even the 5-star classes. Just having to take a hold there as they come down the gradients. Very little of that on this arena. It's a beautifully presented grass arena. Just starts to roll from you, and here time-wise should be okay. As you say, see a very different round there at 83.41. Daniel Coyle and Ivory TCS giving us the first of the clears of this 2-star class. So clear round number 1 on the board. And then a couple coming up for the US after that. So clear round number 1 for this 2-star. And we'll be taking you through all the classes for the day. Well, Harry McNerney now with Zeta Blue for the US rider, part of the Logano team for Major League Jumping for the first time on the series for her, and for the rider that is with the Kent Farrington stable. Zeta Blue, again just coming up through the ranks this year in Florida, been turning to Captain Cooper and Chuck for the big classes. Zeta seeing some the action to some of those national and smaller international shows so far, but 2-star step up here for this combination. 11-year-old by Zorocco Blues, you'd expect from the name, from the breeding of Balou de Rouet. Just again steadying for the first part of that triple combination. Again, very easy in this arena just to get a flow going. Back to this plank. Just on the 4 so far. Just working to get a little bit of energy down the 4 strides to the Major League fence. Nice shot at the triple bar, sit up and ready for this double. Daniel Coyle showing the way so far, having had that 1 clear. Just on the 4, we'll see again, once you've had that 1 fence down, where that's going to put you in the final placings. But keeping up the pace here for Hillary should be okay there to get inside the time as they keep rolling down to the last. Again, he's given them plenty of space down here to the finish. And there we go. It is going to be just inside at 86.49. So just on the 4 faults, say our course designing team, Megan Rawlins for this 2-star, alongside of course Peter Grant, who's our 5-star course designer, Peter Wong as well in there on the 4 for Hillary. So clears 4, mix of scores in there. And Hannah Robson alongside me. She's going to be taking us through the next few as well.
Yeah, it's been quite an interesting competition, hasn't it, already, Stephen? It's, as you say, just the one clear out of those 7 starters so far. And there's definitely been quite a few places that the course design team have caught the riders out. Certainly that line from the triple bar at 9 down to the double at 10, and then the upright at 11, causing a good few problems. Also, the Major League upright there is something that they're certainly going to be looking at. It's really comes up quite quickly. I think also, we saw Daniel Coyle take the inside line back to fence 9, the triple bar. And as you can see, even the riders who are within the time allowed, Hillary McNerney, 86.49, she's just within the time allowed.
Yeah, just squeaking in there.
Yeah.
A little bit of pressure on there. Emmanuel Greenberg now, Dublin Van Overis for the Pumpkins Patch Farm. And for the 14-year-old by Darko, training with Quentin Judge, who's watching on the sidelines down there at the moment. Touch at fence 2.
Yeah, just lightly touches it, and she's got quite a good regular rhythm around this course already, and I think that's probably something that will be invaluable to her as she comes down some of these lines, especially as, the horse starts to get a little bit longer, potentially a little bit flatter. There are some areas around the course where they have got quite a bit of space. Be interesting to see how she tackles this line. Good to that fence, and she takes this slightly more inside line but goes around the back of the show plus upright. Horse really stretched out over the A element of fence 10, the double, and I think then it just did make it quite difficult to then get the height at the B element. Good long way down to the last, but she'll be over the time. Oh no, she's just within the time allowed. 86.1 is her time, but the 2 fences down, so 8 is the total.
Daniel Cole with the early clears so far. Hillary McNerney on the 4, and then Emmanuel Greenberg going into third there on the 8 faults at the moment. A long way to go through this class. Good field of 46 that we'll see in here, and it's a real group of those with exposure into the top level. We've got some of those that are up in the world's top 10, some of those really stepping up with some nice horses into this 2-star, really on a progressive path form as well. Arash Ramati now of the ride with Dante 108 for the Iranian rider. 13-year-old Holsteiner by Diorado was actually competing earlier this year into the shows in the Middle East in Abu Dhabi, and has cut his teeth in those shows over there, including Alain last season too. There's a whole series that takes place there across Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Sharjah. And now coming across here to Canada. Of course, not just here at Thunderbird. Over the next few weeks, they'll be heading to Spruce Meadows as well. And so getting their first runs in the arena here as part of a big week.
Yeah, a lot of the riders were commenting yesterday that in the the second of the 5-star classes yesterday, it's such a good opportunity for them to really give the horses the experience, to really get both themselves and the horses used to this arena. Of course, many of these horses, as you say, are really pretty experienced now, but it's certainly a good opportunity for them to be able to cut their teeth, if you like, in this arena, to sort of get the lie of the land, to see what the footing is like ahead of both the team competition this afternoon and the 5-star Grand Prix tomorrow. Arash Ramati, just another rider falling foul of 10B there. Unfortunately, he also had that first fence down, and we do have 13 obstacles containing 16 efforts here, so especially if you've had the first fence down, it really is quite a long way around, and that can either, clears the last, but having the first fence down can have one of 2 effects really. It can either make the horses really sit up and pay attention, or it can really sort of rattle them and set the tone a little bit for the rest of the round. So Arash Ramati over the time allowed as well. So 23 is the total for him. Just the one clear round still. That, of course, was Daniel Coyle with Ivory TCS. Daniel, very experienced competitor, leading the way. Just the one rider in the jump-off. So one clear out of 9 starters so far. So, you know, it really is a pretty tough test here. It is. There's a lot for the horses and riders to take in. A lot of difficult lines. But our next rider in will be Brian Morton. He comes here with Firefly. Riding, of course, for Canada. He's been competing in California earlier this year with Firefly, this 12-year-old gelding. But it's quite a new partnership here. The horse was previously ridden by Cara Chad of Canada. Gets a good pace up to that Oxer. One fence down, but it's certainly a horse that you'd like to see in a jump-off as well. Again, 10B falls there. It's definitely been a place that's been pretty influential in the course so far. So 2 down so far for Brian Morton and Firefly. We still do just have that one clear round from Daniel Coyle. Good to the last and within the time allowed. So 8 is the total for Brian Morton with Firefly. One clear, of course, and one rider on 4 faults. That was Hilary McNerney. We have had a good few riders having more than one fence down in this competition, which just gives you a little bit of a flavour of the fact that there are so many questions all the way around this course. Our next competitor is in the ring though. This is Rachel Cornacchia, again for Canada, who brings forward Celine L.S. Lassia. Based in Calgary in Canada, Rachel Cornacchia. She's been competing in Wellington recently as well as in Traverse City. This horse is a 13-year-old mare. And again, it's a relatively new partnership. Horse previously ridden by Jim Ifko of Canada, with whom this horse competed in a number of 5-star competitions at Calgary. Rachel's been competing this horse in the 2-star competitions. Couple down so far, so we are still looking for that second clear round, still looking for the second rider to go forward into the jump-off. B falls again. Plenty of questions, but a key question being asked by the course designer is that of adaptability. Of course, the riders need to be able to really use the horse's stride in these distances, particularly down that tricky, influential line. Rachel Cornacchia also over the time allowed. Quite deceptive. She's on 89.98, so she's a good few seconds over the time allowed. Gives her a total of 15 with the fences down as well. Well, with 11 competitors having started and just one clear, you can see that it's proving to be quite a difficult class to get into the jump off so far. I'm sure as the later riders are able to have a look at what their competitors are doing earlier on in this competition, we will see more clears, and certainly we might see some more taking the inside line to fence 9 just to be on the safe side with the time allowed as well. Coming to the first fence though now is Jose Alberto Martinez Vasquez with Quinley. So many competitors representing nations from all over the world in this 2-star Grand Prix at Thunderbird Show Park in this beautiful setting in British Columbia. The lineup to come includes riders including Kyle King, Caitlin Campbell, Vanessa Mannix, Connor Swale, Sam Walker, Paul O'Shea. They really are representing nations from all over the world. Former world number 1 Kent Farrington also a little further down the list on our started list of 46 combinations. Good to the last, and again he's close to the time allowed, but he's just inside it. So 8 is the total for Jose Alberto Martinez Vasquez. Well, Kyle King is next to take to the stage, this time with NKH Carrido, 12-year-old mare by Carico. Kyle King, no stranger to the Major League Show Jumping Series, with a win back in December of last year in Thermal in California in one of the 5-star classes. That was with his horse Magic Mike. Etalon is also the horse that he's been campaigning quite extensively over his most recent competitions, as well as Enzo. Gets a good shot to that Oxer. Now he's got to just make sure that he's got the accuracy down this line to the Major League upright. Just keeps the pace up, and unfortunately has that fence down. So our second clear still eludes us. Again, you know, he's a bit quicker on the clock, this rider. Kyle King stops the clock in 84.3, just that one fence down though. We still just have Daniel Coyle in our jump off. We have had a little bit of wet weather so far this week, but dry conditions overnight have certainly meant that the footing in this arena is looking really, really good for this class. Of course, this arena will also play host to the 5-star Major League Show Jumping team competition. That will be kicking off at 5 p.m. local time. Of course, you can watch all of that action on MajorLeagueShowJumping.com or indeed on the Major League Show Jumping app. Next into the ring is Madison Stephen. She rides Yalambi's Grazie. This is an 11-year-old by Yalambi's Allegria. Rides for Australia. Another nation represented in this competition. Riders have travelled from all over the world to compete here at Thunderbird Show Park, close to Vancouver. Madison Stephen. She's had some good results with this horse recently. She's been competing it in Australia. That was last year, and won a competition with this horse there. That was back in June. It's a really cleverly designed line here because, you know, they do need the power to fence 9, but they've got to then get the control back for 10, B and 11, and it's catching so many riders out. Madison Stephen, though, opting to retire in this competition. Saves her horse for another day. Well, we turn now to one of the competitors who is on one of the Major League Show Jumping teams, a rider for the Northern Lights team. This is our next starter, Darren Dillon. Darren, of course, previously competed in a World Cup final, one World Cup final in Gothenburg. That was back in 2008. His horse here is Dorado. And he's competed this horse at this very venue. That, however, was back in 2018. Competed in the 3-star Grand Prix here. But they are back in action now in this 2022 season. This 13-year-old gelding by Diorado, owned by Timberley Farms. It's going well so far. He's taking the line around the back of this Show Plus fence. Gives him a bit of a straighter approach to the triple bar. And unfortunately, this double at 10 is really causing quite a few problems now. Darren Dillon obviously going for the approach of a bit of a longer run up to this line, letting the horse really get a handle on the triple bar, but good to the last, and it really is the double that's made the difference here. He's within the time allowed. His total score is 8. Darren Dillon not clinching the next spot in the jump-off. We still just have one rider in that jump-off. That, of course, is Daniel Coyle with Ivory TCS. He is our only clear. We turn now to Argentina, and this competitor is Guillermo Obligado, who rides Woodgrove Farms Hidalgo. Guillermo, no stranger to the very top level of the sport. He competed in the World Equestrian Games in Aachen back in 2006, as well as the World Cup final in 2006. With this horse, Hidalgo, he competed in a number of 3-star competitions at the back end of last year. Third in a 3-star competition there. Competed this horse in Lexington as well. Again, at the 3-star competitions, clear so far. Again, he's taking a bit of a straighter approach, a bit of a longer run up to the triple bar. Takes a pull. Despite the pull before the double, he still just maintains a little bit too much pace potentially and clips the front rail. That turn back as well to the penultimate fence is another place where they can potentially save a bit of time. Of course, it's quite a tight turn back potentially. You can make it as tight as you like. He's turning a circle and he's certainly going to be over the time allowed now with this. Turns the circle, obviously feeding the horse is just getting a bit strong and a little bit long. So Guillermo Obligado of Argentina, considerably over the time allowed, 108.94. That's his time, gives him 34 when he counts his time penalties as well. Daniel Coyle still out in front, that sole clear round. But we move very swiftly on to another Canadian competitor. This is Eric Krawit with Cactus de Cosnier, owned by Montserrat Hernandez Gomez. Eric, talented young rider, competed in the North American Youth Championships in 2021 and 2018. This horse he rides here is Cactus de Cosnier. That is the horse that he competed there in those championships in 2021. Horse formerly ridden by Nicolas Toro of Colombia. And Eric's been campaigning this horse in Wellington earlier this year in the 2-star competitions. He was 6th in a 3-star competition there though. Again, the double causing some problems. Eric Krawit using all of the experience that he has to date, now steadies for the last. It's quite a long way down to the final fence. And safely through, stops the clock in 82.62. That is one of our faster rounds, and he is the fastest of our 4 falters. And certainly with only 1 clear so far, that could prove invaluable. He may still be within touching distance of a place near the top of the leaderboard. Eric Krawit goes into 2nd, our fastest 4 falter. Well, from Canada now to Mexico, our next competitor is Daniel Rihan with Desperado DN. Dutch-bred horse by Argentinas. Again, a rider that's been successful in the young rider categories, including with this horse. He's competed this horse in a number of different locations in Canada as well as in Mexico at San Miguel de Allende and Monterrey. Those were at the end of last year. Also competed in Wellington earlier this year with this horse in a few two-star competitions. Horse previously ridden by John Perez Bohm. Daniel's other top horse is Tentacion La Silla. And he's a fraction over the time allowed. Remember, 1 penalty for time is incurred for every second started over the time allowed. So with 87.12, just 12/100ths of a second over the time allowed, Daniel Rehan has 4 for jumping and 1 for time. Desperado DN just stopping to make the most of this beautiful grass arena before they exit. 5 is their total. Puts them into 5th place so far. So Daniel Rehan was our 18th competitor and takes 5th spot with his 5 faults. We only have 1 clear. We have 3 competitors on 4, and now Daniel Rehan on 5 takes that 5th spot. We have a good few riders picking up quite high scores here. Caitlin Campbell now in the arena with Emir, 13-year-old by Eurocommerce Dubai, rides for the USA. Again, she's a rider on one of the Major League show jumping teams. She's turning a circle here before the first fence. Perhaps felt that her approach wasn't quite as she might have liked it, but she'll pick up 4 for that, and it will be costly for time as well. Rides on the Roadrunners team. Roadrunners, of course, are one of the teams who will be competing in that 5-star team competition later this afternoon. Caitlin Campbell, experienced competitor now in these competitions. Ooh, how's that? Just didn't get the height over that oxer, and so it made it quite a deep shot to the Major League upright, but safely over that. She's had 2 down so far. Successful as a junior rider, she won individual gold and team silver at the 2009 North American Junior Championships.
It's the one, right? It's the
Well, clears the last, and as we anticipated, she's a good way over the time allowed as well with that circle at the first fence. So 34 is going to be her final score. That's the score incorporating her time penalties as well. Drops her into 15th place as it stands. Still 1 clear round. It's still only Daniel Coyle to post a clear round and keep that clean sheet. But the next rider who will be trying to join him in a jump-off is James Arkins. James rides for Australia with this horse Javaro N. This is an 8-year-old mare, so one of the younger horses in the field. Fantastic experience for an 8-year-old horse to compete in this arena. Fantastic atmosphere here at Thunderbird Show Park, and certainly that will be only building as the day goes on and as we get closer to the Major League Show Jumping team competition. James has had some very good results recently, a third in a 3-star Grand Prix in Lexington. That was just a couple of weeks ago. That was with his horse Eurostar. Also competed that horse in Australia. But he's been competing over in the States from the start of this year. Jovaro N and Eurostar are the horses that he's been campaigning. Just really getting the mileage on this horse, Jovaro N. Oh, he's close to the time, 85.65. He's a little inside the time allowed. So just the one fence down for James Arkins. 4 faults for him. That will have him in 4th place. He is not the fastest of our 4 faulters, but he's not too far away. Eric Crowett takes that honour and holds the 2nd spot at the moment. Daniel Coyle, of course, still out in front. Well, the arena has been absolutely beautifully prepared, and you can see it's such a stunning setting here in British Columbia. It's a venue that's played host to World Cups and Nations Cup. Now the Major League Show Jumping Series comes here for the first leg of the 2022 season. 10 legs in the 2022 season, covering a selection of beautiful venues across America, Canada and Mexico. Well, the next man to take to the stage needs very little introduction. This is Connor Swale. He's been having a fantastic season this year already. Ranked 5th in the world. Rides also on the iCandy team. iCandy, of course, were the champions in the 2021 season. And they no doubt will be looking to replicate their success in 2022. They're certainly a very competitive team and one that you would definitely not want to bet against. Connor Swale brings Gamble to this competition though. Gamble is his 11-year-old Dutch bred gelding. Connor, of course, had that great 8th place in the World Cup final in Leipzig earlier this year. That was with his horse Count Me In. But I'm sure he would very much like to join his compatriot Daniel Coyle in the jump-off. This is looking very, very good. Oh, what a shame. I was just about to say, you could see how well Connor uses his body to really steady the horse, to really get the balance back before that double, but unfortunately 10B falls once more, this time for Connor Swale. I should think this is going to take one of the top spots in the leaderboard as it stands though. 83.87. He drops just behind Eric Crowett. Connor Swale goes into 3rd place, so a 1st and a 3rd on our leaderboard at the moment for Ireland and also for iCandy jumpers. 4 is Connor Swale's total. Of course, the drawn order for the teams was decided by a canoeing race the other night. That was won by the Crusaders team, so they have the honour of going last in the order in tonight's competition. Of course, the teams want to be able to go as late as possible so that they can watch the other teams to see what they need to do to top the leaderboard. iCandy, though, will be in the penultimate spot, so they are also in a very strong position. This man, though, is now representing the USA. This is Quentin Judge with H.H. Philonus, owned by Double H Farm. A 9-year-old stallion here. Another of the younger horses in the field. He's been competing this horse up to 3-star level. A ride that he took on in 2021. Previously ridden by Alexander Butler of Ireland, who took this horse in the young horse competitions. Well, it looks like Quentin Judge is calling it a day. Yeah, opts to retire. With a good few fences down so far. Retires this horse. But certainly a prospect for the future, just a 9-year-old. Tracy Epp is now in home rider for Canada. She rides Chicago. This is a 15-year-old, so a bit more of an experienced horse. Tracy began her career here in British Columbia, so a bit of a home venue for her. Runs Signature Farms, based in Richmond in British Columbia. In Chicago really is the horse that she's been campaigning extensively recently. Competed in the 5-star competitions at the Major League show in Thermal at the end of last year. But they also did the 2-star Grand Prix at this very venue at Thunderbird Show Park in October last year for a 7th place finish. Gets a quite deep shot to the triple barn. Could stand her in good stead for the rest of this line. Yeah, good through the double. Very boldly down to the upright there. She really trusts this horse. She just has 2 fences left to jump. Now 1 fence stands between her and a place in the jump off. She's kept all the fences up. The time's good. Oh, great to the last as well. Tracy Epp looks absolutely thrilled with that round, and well she should. Oh, what a shame. She's picked up... Oh, no. What a relief. Our scoreboard just playing tricks on us a little bit there, but a clear round. A great, great round for Tracy Epp with Chicago, 84.89. She was good on the time as well. So now we have our jump off. 2 riders going forward. Tracy Epp is the second. She'll be battling it out with Daniel Coyle.
As mentioned, Daniel Coyle already at the jump off. We welcome in now entry number 10,
a little while.
Jordan Coyle of Ireland, riding custody owned by Elon Farm.
We go back to Ireland and to Jordan Coyle. Jordan is another member of one of our Major League show jumping teams. He rides on the Spy Coast Spies. Here in this competition he rides Costa Diam, owned by Elon Farm. Based in the States, Jordan has been competing this horse in a number of competitions up to 3-star level. But it's a horse that he has really been campaigning this year in Wellington and in New York. It's a pretty new ride. It's a horse that was competed by Penelope Le Provost of France, very popular French rider, and also by her daughter Eden Le Provost bin Le Breton. Quite a lot of experience for this mare already at only 10 years old. Now that was a tighter turn back. Jordan has got his eye on the time. Well, good to the last, and the time is 83.33. He's one of our faster rounds, but it's not quite fast enough to be the fastest of the four falters. That still goes to Eric Crowett. Jordan Coyle takes the 4th spot. Remember, 2 clears now. 2 riders going forward to the jump off. And we're a little over halfway through the field. We have 46 coming forward, 46 on our start list. A couple of withdrawals so far.
The next entry in number 116 in our CSI2 Star Grand Prix. This is Cactus with rider Johanna Siefert, riding for owner 2.
Well, Johanna Siefert now heads into the ring, riding for the USA, owned by Jill Davison and by Johanna herself. This horse is Cactus. She's had quite a good look around the arena before heading to this first fence, just letting the horse have a really good look at the questions being asked. Premier Equestrian Oxer falls there. This horse is 10 years old. She's competed this horse at this venue at Thunderbird Show Park in the past to a good few top 10 finishes in both 3 and 4-star competitions. Lately they've been jumping in Wellington.
Oh, God.
She's going to be close to the time allowed, but I think could just be a fraction over. Yeah, 87.45. So she picks up 1 time penalty, with that time allowed, remember, being 87 seconds. 21 is going to be the total for Johanna Siefert. Well, as we've been saying earlier in this competition, the fences are falling all the way around this course. Certainly the line from 9 to 10 to 11 is proving to be very influential. Fences 7 and 8 also causing a good few problems. We do have a triple combination here this morning as well. That's at fence 4. That has not been causing too many problems though. But a real range of questions being asked. This is our next competitor, Paul O'Shea. He rides Sexy Beast. He rides, of course, for the Eye Candy Jumpers team, and this horse is owned by Eye Candy Jumpers. This is a 9-year-old mare by Cabochon out of Stakora, who is a mare by Staccato. Paul O'Shea, a really strong competitor for Eye Candy, who was on that team last year. And again, he's no stranger to the very top level. He's competed at the World Equestrian Games and Nations Cup finals. But he's got a great string of horses at the moment. Hellcat and Squirt Gun, of course, are the horses that he's competing as well. Those are horses that we've seen on our lists here as well, but Sexy Beast is his ride here. It's a horse that came from Patrick Stallmare, but he's had 2 top 10 finishes very recently. 3 in Wellington this year so far, and 3 in 4-star competitions. So again, he's a little over the time allowed. 88.97 is his time, gives him 18. But the horse is only 9 years old, and we know that this is a pretty tricky course, so it's a really good learning round. It's a really good educational round for Sexy Beast. Well, from one Major League team rider to another. Now we go to Sean Jubbin. He rides on the Northern Lights team, who are a bit of a home team here in Vancouver. Sean also rides for Canada. Brings forward Foxridge Farm Stables Cuba Libre V. Northern Lights are a new team on the Major League show jumping team competition this year. But no doubt they'll be very keen to make their mark at this first leg. With this horse, Sean won a 4-star 2-phase competition in Ocala. That was back in March. That win was actually his first international competition with this horse. Was previously ridden by Christopher Klausener of Germany. And the horse was very successful with him, just 10 years old. Fence down so far, unfortunately. Sean will not be joining Daniel Coyle and Tracy Epp in our jump-off. Well, he's over the time allowed as well. 12 is his total, 90.49.
The one on the balcony is the horse I'm sure. One.
This, of course, is the culmination of the 2-star competitions this week. This 2-star Grand Prix very well attended by riders from all over the world. Daniel Coyle and Tracy Epp are the 2 riders who are currently going forward into our jump-off. Just 2 clear rounds out of 27 riders who have come forward. Had a couple of withdrawals so far. But now we go to another rider for one of the teams. This is Hunter Holloway with Liemba. Hunter rides on the Crusaders team, and they, of course, were the winners of the Draw Challenge. The Draw Challenge being that canoeing race, and so they take pole position in the team competition. That is at 5 o'clock local time this afternoon. And again, this is quite a young horse. It's an 8-year-old mare by Gem of India. Hunter also present at the World Cup finals this year in Leipzig. She was 16th with her horse Pepita Conspita. Ah, what a shame. It's such a tricky line there. You know, they really do need the power to get over the Oxer at 7, and then you know they've got to get the control and the accuracy back for the Major League upright. And it's really in the second half of this course that we see the real major questions being asked. And of course, by this point, the horses are perhaps a little more tired than they would be at the first few fences, and they've had the opportunity to get a bit long and strung out as well. Hunter Holloway clears the last, but 24 is going to be her score. Again, she's over the time allowed. The time's been influential as well so far. 20 is the score on the board for Hunter Holloway of the Crusaders team.
Vanessa Hood in the ring now with entry number 1097 to challenge the course. This is
Well, from one team rider to another. This is Vanessa Hood. Vanessa is on the Lugano team. Lugano are the team that will be going first in this afternoon's team competition. Her ride here this morning in this two-star Grand Prix is Connor. She could do with just getting a little bit more power and pace up. Unfortunately, the back rail coming down on the first fence. It's just hard to stretch over that a bit. Connor is a 13-year-old by Cornado, out of Franzi, who's a mare by Full Pleasure. Again, you know, it's quite a measured round, this. She's really taking her time. It could be one of those runs that incurs time penalties, but it's a big striding horse. Does cover the ground very well. Jumps very well down that line. Shame about the first fence. 2 left, and actually, you know, this horse with the big stride is deceptive. We're on 80 seconds at the moment. Clears the last, and she's just within the time allowed, 86.46, but has that first fence down. Well, that is such a shame, because we haven't seen first fence fall too much, but Vanessa Hood jumped fantastically around a lot of these very difficult questions. Sadly, the first fence gives her 4. The time that she picked up, though, will drop her into 8th place. She's just ahead of Hillary and Leckner. They are the later combinations on 4. Daniel Coyle and Tracy Epps still the only riders on a clean sheet. Eric Crowett is the fastest of the 4 filters. He was on a time of 82.62, and in fact that has him as the fastest of our rounds so far. Next up is Carrie-Anne Boyce Lockhart. Rides for the USA with CMS Garadice Shaw. Competed this horse in Las Vegas in November of last year for a 9th place in a 2-face competition. Before that, she brought this horse here to Vancouver to 3 top 10 finishes, a 3rd in a 3-star competition, a 4th and a 5th, and a 9th. So they're pretty on form. They know this arena, they know this venue. Horse jumping really well for her, really picking up down this line. And it's accurate riding as well. Now let's see how tightly she turns back here. She's giving the horse a little bit more time, but she's got time. Gets a bit more of a pace up, just opens up down this final line. It's a good long way to the last. Ah, brilliant. Oh, but she's over the time allowed.
They do clear all the fences.
Oh, what a shame. Carrie-Anne Boyce Lockhart, she jumps clear, but picks up 2 time penalties. That keeps her out of the jump off. 2 is her total. She slots into 3rd place, of course. is ahead of our 4 faulting riders, but
The one that, the
3rd place, she's out of the jump-off.
For the moment, it remains 2 that are clearing to our jump-off as we're joined by number
Hard lines, you know,
77.
and I'm sure as she goes back to review her round, she'll be looking at where she maybe could have saved a little bit of time. We have only seen one rider take a very inside line to the triple bar. And that was Daniel Coyle. He was our first clear, but this man is obviously going to be trying to join Daniel and Tracy in the jump off. This is Ben Asselin, another home competitor in Canada. He's competed at the Nations Cup final in the past, as well as in junior championships. Worked for Ludger Beerbaum for a couple of years, gaining great experience there, but they are based in Calgary. The horse he rides here is the Freshman. This is owned by his family's Attache stables. But 2 riders back to back going very, very well. He's just got this one fence left. Yeah, brilliantly ridden. 84.7, a very good time for Ben Asselin and the Frenchman. The Freshman, excuse me.
Ben Asselin and the Freshman.
4 faults for him. Puts Ben Asselin into 8th place. From one Canadian rider to another then. Next up is Christopher Lowe with Cunningham 4. 12-year-old gelding by Contendro. German-bred horse. Again, this combination competed here in Vancouver at the back end of last year. They were 19th in the 2-star Grand Prix there, so no doubt they will be looking for a higher position in today's 2-star Grand Prix, but they've got this difficult course to tackle first. Bold shot from the plank down to that oxer. Very, very deep there, yeah. The Major League show jumping upright just falls. He was very, very close there. Had a tricky jump at fence 7. Good to the last though. Just those difficult jumps. He was just a little bit hesitant at the oxer at 7, and so it really made things very, very difficult indeed at the upright at 8. So with some time as well, Christopher Lowe finishes on 11. 93.63 was his time. Still only 2 riders in the jump-off. They are Daniel Coyle and Tracy Epp. 46 riders on our start list this morning. We've had 4 withdrawals so far, but still just 2 clears. Can Madeleine Riddle join them? She rides Kato Minor J, a 15-year-old German-bred horse by Cornado. Madeline won a two-star competition at Thunderbird Show Park in October 2020. That was with her horse Stylish. This is a newer ride for her. Kato Minor is a 15-year-old. Horse was previously ridden by Janina Gries of Germany. Well, great to hear some cheers going up from Madeline Riddle's support team there. She's just inside the time allowed. Finishes in 86.66 and picks up 16 penalties. Still, the clears are proving to be pretty elusive. We still only have 2. This, of course, is the culmination of the 2-star competitions this week, but the 5-star action doesn't stop. We have the 5-star Major League Show Jumping team competition kicking off at 5 p.m. local time. And the 5-star Grand Prix takes place tomorrow. All of which will be available to watch live on MajorLeagueShowJumping.com or on the Major League Show Jumping app. And there's a real buzz about the venue, especially for this team competition later on today. Kent Farrington heads into the ring now. He's on the Lugano team. He is, of course, the former world #1. What this man has not achieved in his career is not really worth mentioning. Olympic rider, back at the Rio Olympic Games in 2016, World Equestrian Games, of course, in 2014. 5 World Cup finals to his name as well. The horse he rides here this morning is Landon. Been jumping this horse in the 5-star competitions at the Royal Windsor Horse Show earlier this month.
Absolutely.
It's a 9-year-old. They were 8th in the 5-star two-phase competition at Windsor. But he competed this horse across Florida earlier this year. And had 2 top 10 finishes with this horse in Vancouver at this very venue. That was back in September of last year. Kent Farrington's certainly a rider that you would look to that could potentially join the ranks of those in the jump-off. Could he be the 3rd? This is a 9-year-old gelding. Another of those younger horses in the field. Oh, great jump over the triple bar. Very exuberant. He's got to get the control back here now. Great down that line, just 2 fences left to jump. 2 fences separate Kent Farrington from the 3rd spot in the jump-off. The time's good as well. He is well up on the clock. He steadies to the last. And there we have it, 84.52, and that gives us our 3rd clear. Kent Farrington is through to the jump-off. He joins Daniel Coyle and Tracy Eck, just 3 riders through. Carrie-Anne Boyce-Lockhart, of course, currently in 4th spot with her 2 time penalties. Eric Crowett, the fastest of the 4 falters, he's in 5th. It's the turn now of Callie Schott, who rides for the USA, but she is a team rider for the Crusaders. Crusaders who start this afternoon's team competition in pole position.
This is technically right.
Winners of that canoeing race to decide the draw for the team competition.
they might crash.
Callie here rides Teddy Z, 11-year-old gelding owned by Dahlman Show Jumping. Was previously competed by Sandra Dahlman. But Callie's been competing this horse up to 3-star level. Had a 6th place finish recently in a 3-star competition in Wellington. Takes the Major League upright on an angle. Now that sets her up more for this turn. We still haven't seen anybody else go inside the Show Plus upright. That's one place that they can save a bit of time though. Good through the double. Now she's got the opportunity to take a bit of a tighter turn back to the penultimate fence. The time is very good. She's on 76 seconds now. She is well within the time allowed. This is one of our faster rounds. Comes to the last brilliantly judged round. That gives us our 4th clear. Callie Schott then joins those riders in the jump off. Now there are 4 of them. So we have waited quite some time for another clear. Now we have 2 back to back. So 4 riders going forward to the jump off. Of course, Daniel Coyle, Tracy Epp, Kent Farrington and Callie Schott. What a lineup of riders in the jump off. Daniel Coyle, of course, riding for the Eye Candy team in the team competition later today. Callie Schott rides for the Crusaders. Kent Farrington on the Lugano team. Very competitive riders both individually and for their teams. Jennifer Waxman is now in the arena and she has got quite a pace up already. She certainly looks keen not to pick up any time penalties. She's riding Skato van de Molenbrug Z, owned by Daniel Blumen and the Skato Group. This is a 12-year-old stallion by Skendix. Again, she's had a good few results with this horse, a good few top 10 finishes at the back end of last year in Tryon and in Traverse City, up to 3-star level. Big jump over the triple bar. And we've talked about the drawn order for the teams, but you can really see as this 2-star Grand Prix competition goes on, the riders that are later on in the competition have had a bit more of an opportunity to see how it's riding, and certainly seeing a few more successful rounds as it's gone on. And Jennifer Waxman is definitely one of those. 83.72 is her time and she is clear. 5 riders now through to the jump off. But yeah, being drawn later in the order really gives the riders a chance to see how the course is riding, to see where the potential problems are, to see what they can do to help their horses around this course. And that's really evident in this competition.
Now entry number 585, Brian Renault from Mexico, John Perez with Kazan.
You can keep up to date with all of the scores as well on the Major League Show Jumping app, as well as watching this competition and the competitions later in this weekend live there or on the Major League Show Jumping website. Riding for Colombia now, this is John Perez-Baum. He rides Kazan, a 10-year-old stallion who is by Casal, as you might be able to tell from the name. John Perez-Baum competed in 1 World Cup final, 2 Pan American Games. Top horse that he rode in a couple of those championships was Utopia. It's a bit of a tighter turn back here. We've seen some riders really taking their time, really taking a wider turn back down to this difficult line, but John Perez-Baum, took a bit of a tighter turn and 10A falls. This is a horse previously ridden by Julio David Weiner and before that by Lily Keenan of the United States of America. So he's good on the clock, but 1 fence down for John Perez-Baum keeps him out of the jump-off and gives him 4 penalties. He'll go into 10th place, dropping just behind Connor Swale and ahead of Kyle King. A good few competitors on 4 now. Well, from Colombia then to Mexico and to Eugenio Garza Perez. He rides Candor Farms Chaluris PS, an 8-year-old mare by Chaco Blue. Eugenio, a key rider on the Helios team. They're definitely looking like ones to watch as well. Of course, iCandy were the champions in the 2021 season, but the Helios team are looking extremely strong. They've got a really, really exciting lineup, not least with Eugenio Garza on their roster. Very successful as a young rider, and 2 Pan American Games to his name as well. 2 starts there. One fence left. He's clear so far. Oh. No, just the 1 fence down. So 4 for Eugenio Garza. And 84.7 is his time. But a really good performance from this 8-year-old horse. .87, a pretty fast time as well, puts them into a little way down our lineup. We do have a good view on 4 now, so they're a bit out of the top 10. Patricio Pascal is next in. Here riding Chacalou PS, another 8-year-old, this time a stallion by Diablo Blanco, out of Stacklana, who is by Stackatol. This is the horse that he took to the Nations Cup show in Quapexpan. That was earlier this year in March. But Patricio's had some very good results recently. Some wins, 2 wins recently with his horse Babel. Took that horse to Mexico City to the 5-star competition there. But this is a relatively new horse for him, previously ridden by Patrick Stuhlmeier of Germany. Final fence falls as well. He just takes a bit of a look behind there, but yes, indeed it does fall. The time is very, very fast indeed, 81.89. That is our fastest round so far. But 2 fences down will drop Patricio Pascal into 18th place. Well, there are just 2 more competitors on our starting list. And of course we have 5 going forward to the jump off so far. Those 5 riders are Daniel Coyle, Tracy Epp, Kate Farrington, Callie Schott and Jennifer Waxman. 3 riders for the USA, 1 for Canada and 1 for Ireland. And 3 riders on our Major League show jumping teams going forward into the jump off in this 2-star Grand Prix. Hayley Mercer's in next. She rides Crown Royale. Again, she's got quite a steady and measured approach at the early part of this course. There are a couple of places a bit later on when they can take a bit of more of a tighter line, but it's quite a flowing, open style of course, especially at the first part. Triple combination just causing her some problems there, 1 fence down. This line from the plank to this Oxer has been jumping well. It's really this latter part of the course that's been causing particular problems. Last year in September, Hayley jumped this horse in the under-25 competitions. 4 top 10 finishes in those. She will be over the time allowed. Jumps the last. But yeah, she will be over the time allowed. You know, you could see from the early parts of the course that she just was taking a bit of a steadier approach, really just letting the horse having a good look around the course. But 89.93 was her time, and so coupling the time penalties with the fence down gives her 7. Well, now we have the final competitor in the first round. Coming forward here, this is Matt Williams. He rides for Australia and rides HD Horses Dandy. Dandy is an 11-year-old by Douglas, out of Uriliana, who is by Heartbreaker. Really interesting breeding on this horse. Yes, he's our final competitor though. We have 5 in the jump off. Matt Williams, next rider to try to join those 5. Very carefully over the planks and then bouldered to the Oxer. He was quite lucky to get the distance over that wide fence. But you know, there you can really see the questions around adaptability from the plank to that big Oxer and then another Oxer to a pretty delicate upright. something that's not a problem for Matt Williams and Dandy. This double combination is certainly the one that has been the most influential in the first round of competition. It's going to be in the jump off as well, so it'll be very interesting to see if it is equally as influential there. Good on the clock. Matt Williams comes to the last and has that down as well. The horse just almost slightly slid into that final fence. It's not something that we've seen happen around this course. So 2 down, 84.62 is his time. Matt Williams goes into 21st place. Well, that clear jumping round, but with the 2 time penalties for Karianne Boyce Lockhart, is certainly looking to be quite valuable. She stays in 6th place, just behind our 5 going forward to the jump off. Those 5 riders and horses are Daniel Coyle, he'll be going forward to the jump off with Ivory TCS. Tracy Epp goes forward with Chicago. Kemp Farrington brings Landon. Callie Schott with Teddy Z, and Jennifer Waxman rounds out the lineup of riders in the jump off with Scatto van der Molenbrug Z. Those are the 5 riders, and we'll be bringing you the jump off in just a few moments' time.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
Danielle Toronto, and we are customers of Marshall and Sterling. They have been amazing for us, for our business. They take care of our farm, our horses, our cars. It's basically one-stop shopping for us.
I'm Jimmy Toronto. Unfortunately, we've actually had to really use Marshall and Sterling for horse deaths, and I have to say that Marshall and Sterling has been an amazing company. They have taken care of things. It's been worry-free. The person we deal with, Missy, she takes it all upon herself. Once we go to her with the claim, she does it all for us. And I have to say, since we've been with Marshall and Sterling, I just can't think of going anywhere else. I put all my trust, all my faith in them.
When every second counts, the surface matters. Premier Equestrian features Pro-Tex footing product and auto sport base mats. Mats absorb up to 40% of the concussion. Pro-Tex provides maximum stability. Premier Equestrian is the official footing partner of Major League Show Jumping. Contact us about your arena at premierequestrian.com.
The beauty, power, and elegance of warm blood horses is no accident. A history of carefully crafted breeding practices that walk the delicate line of art and science has created a horse that is as strong as it is graceful, so that it may successfully compete at the most elite level in equine sports. Breeders can access an American Stallion station that provides both fresh chilled and frozen semen options with full transparency on semen quality. Set on 800 acres of Lexington, Kentucky bluegrass, Spy Coast Farm is revolutionizing the breeding practices of warm blood horses. World-renowned stallions with proven bloodlines that have successfully competed at the top level of international Grand Prix sport are collected by a resident veterinarian and processed promptly for shipment to a domestic breeder for a timely insemination of their ovulating mare. The experts at Spy Coast Farm are determined to improve your U.S. breeding options by taking the guesswork out of semen quality.
Alden Brown is a proud sponsor of Thunderbird Show Park. Through our long-standing partnership with Thunderbird, we have seen firsthand the incredible impact of their events for competitors, spectators, and the community as a whole. At Alden Brown, we invest in our clients' futures and in the communities where our clients and team members live and work. Community involvement is in our firm's DNA. It was part of our founder's vision nearly 100 years ago and remains a core value of Alden Brown today. Our team members are passionate about supporting their communities, and they give back in a variety of ways. As a firm, we are proud to partner with organizations like Thunderbird Show Park that share our commitment to making an impact on our community now and for generations.
Well, welcome back, and nearly set to go into the jump-off of our two-star Grand Prix, culminating the week of the two-star classes. And a reminder, later on today, going into the five-star, we'll have the individual riders jumping at mid-afternoon, and then the team competition getting underway at 5. That's really the time to concentrate on. And tomorrow afternoon and morning with two five-star classes with the winning round, and with the Grand Prix as well, completing this Canadian Premier Week here at Thunderbird, all linked in, of course, with that Major League Jumping. So first stage of the teams later on today, but the decider for the two-star coming up. We can see the trailer just taking out the final few fences of the course for what's coming up, or the fences not required on the course here. Let's tell you the fences that are required, and fence 3 is the one we start off on this time. And so we'll take out those first two fences, starting at the third, and then on to 4A, coming down what was the triple combination. So a little change around there as they go down the arena. So 4A, that triple combination that we saw, caught out quite a few early on. Lots of spectacular colours in this, shapes, stripes, all that's used there to great effect. But then turning from 4A straight back to fence 6. And that's the Morningstar Sport Horses fence at 6. From there we go across the arena. Fence 7 taken away. We go straight up to fence 8. That's the Major League vertical. That's just on the corner of your screen, or the middle part of the side of your screen, just looking from the water jump there. You see the two trees. And there from the Major League fence, roll back to what was the triple bar, just out of sight to the right of your screen at the moment. That's now an Oxer rather than triple bar, as it's renumbered as fence 15. But it will give you the motion as we go down to 10A and B after that. So you see this coming into view just beyond the trees at the water jump. 10A, as we saw in that first round, very easy to roll the poles off on either end of that Oxer. And again, they've just got to be careful of the pace coming in here. The pace is going to be a little bit different because the first round it was a triple bar, opened up down to that. Now you're coming to a narrowed up Oxer this time as well, so a very different prospect of what they're coming at this time. And those from 10A and B roll back to a new fence on course this time as well, to fence 16, which is going to be an Oxer, taking them back up the arena, and then a shorter run up to that final fence as was in round 1, which is just to the right of the paintbrushes, if you're looking on the screen there, to the grey colours and the geometric sort of wings on that. And that is going to be your last on course at fence 13 this time around. So it is going to be 3, 4A, 6, 8, 15, 10A and B, 16 and 13 as the course. We see the first just poking their nose under the tower. And out from the arch is Daniel Coyle with Ariel Granger's Ivory TCS to start us off. The 9-year-old Dutch-bred mare by Falaise de Meuse. Last of the tractors just heading on out. Team very swiftly putting things in place. And Megan Rawlins, our course designer for these 2-star classes. Of course, part of the big team here are the 5 stars headed up by Peter Grant. All part of the same team. Peter Wong also there as assistant too. And as the trailers head out, just a final few touches to make to this jump off course, and with a good lineup, with seized 5 of them in all going into the jump off. It's going to be Daniel Coyle starting us off. Ivory TCS likely put the pace on early on. Tracy Epp had that terrific round with Chicago as well. Then it was 3 on the bounce to the final stages. Kent Farrington, Kelly Schott and Jennifer Waxman to complete the 5 here. With 5 just in the jump off, it also means they're all getting good prize money whatever happens. Just to the right of your screen as you're watching, Daniel just having a little walk around, getting loose and adjusted, ready for the jump off, and Megan and her team just making sure the final few little touches to the course are in place and ready to go. But Daniel taking full advantage of the opportunity to have a good look around this beautiful grass arena here at Thunderbird. Lovely drying day today, so it's been wet over the last couple of days. Lovely sunshine out now. Blue skies poking through. Overcast but bright and warm is the good news. And hopefully going to stay that way for today and tomorrow as well. Yes, of course, as I say, one of the classes here for today for the 2-star. To complete the 2-star, then we're left with our Major League Jumping as part of the 5-star. This stage 1 of Major League Jumping. It's going to take us to 10 stages in all. A couple of the venues with 2 stops at those venues, including the likes of Monterrey in Mexico later on in the year, Thermal at the Desert Horse Park as well, as at La Quinta, and then also 2 separate stages of touching down in Michigan as well, in Traverse City too. So, sounds like the bell's set to run, and away goes our first to go, Daniel Coyle, Ivory TCS. Hannah alongside. I think this could be a quick one to get us going. It went very well, obviously, in the first round.
Yeah, it took quite a long time to find another clear round. Daniel Coyle, obviously extremely competitive rider, and he's going to be competitive in the team competition later on today, but he is definitely going to be looking to lay down a fast time to put the pressure on those other riders. He's really got the pace up already. He's really galloping to this fence. Takes a bit of a pull now, but he really trusts this horse to pick up. He's taking that inside turn that he took in the first round as well.
Just got to keep the momentum upon that turn. Really gets it there. I can talk numbers across the arena, but basically it was fast. That's all you need to know. There's loads of space there. Rolls back to this new fence on course, and again, it's how tight they can run to this. Daniels giving it a good cut across that final fence then, taking a run here, just a little tug before they get to it to make sure, and nose over the line at 46.80 for Daniel Coyle and Ivory TCS, as we expected, lighting up as the first of 5 to go into this jump off. That'll take some beating.
Yeah, definitely going to take quite a bit of beating. It's hard to see where any of the other riders might be able to take time off there, because Daniel was really galloping between those distances and taking the very tightest turns as well. Actually, we didn't see anybody else in the first round taking the tight turn back to the triple bar, so it'll be interesting to see if they do in this jump off.
Absolutely. Tracy Epp just walking through that little rollback that she'll have, as say, a little bit different this time, as they're not coming to a triple bar, they're coming to an oxer. So whereas the triple bar, they'll be getting into the bottom of that and letting it fly, they've just got to come off that oxer a little bit more, give it a little bit more space to it, and again coming at a different pace as they were a little bit earlier on. So Chicago is going to be the second of the horses up. Now this 15-year-old Dutch-bred horse by Cicero Van Permel for Tracy Epp of Canada, the Canadian representative in our jump-off. The rest are going to be for the USA.
You can see straight away she's just not quite as fast over the ground.
Yeah, taking the care here. Daniel Coyle is really set a fast pace. You've got to decide whether you're going chasing that or just going for your own plan. She's going to go wide here. Daniel got the inside line, but again, playing to their own comfort zone.
But a double clear would be really valuable as well,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And that's the good thing here. With just 5 in the jump off, you can have a run at this, if you wish, inside the Major League Tower. Get a little bit wider on the turn, but really going for a nice double clear, and should, with that, keep them high up and good on the prize money. Just unfortunately falling at the last there. Finishes on the 4, and I think it was 1 for time as well, 59.42. So 5 going to be the total for Tracy Epp and Chicago. Daniel Coyle ran in 46.8. Tracy taking the safer route, but a tough one to try and hold back Daniel Coyle when you're racing against the clock. But a man that certainly has done on plenty of occasions is the one that goes next. Remember, we've got Kent Farrington, Callie Schott and Jen Waxman still to come out of our final 3 in this 2-star Grand Prix into nearly into the afternoon here at Thunderbird. You can see that's going to be Callie Schott, who goes in a few moments' time. Kent Farrington before that. Clock is counting down for him.
Oh God, yeah. I'm at the wrong horse.
There we go, interview with Landon for Hattie McNerney, 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Comme il faut plus Z, which goes back to the breeding of Comme il faut. And as with Kent's horses, so athletic as he is as well. Light and fast.
Taking some good tighter lines as well. The time was influential in the first round, and it's interesting to see Tracy Epp picking up 1 in this round as well, but Kent Farrington, he's keeping the pace up round that tight turn back as well.
Again, it's the flow of it, the rhythm of it all the way. Able to keep that pace up without breaking that rhythm as they go. Yeah, just keeping the good curve on the line, and for the leading time, 46.8, not going to get there. Interesting though, very good round from Kent Farrington, 49.53, but not able to catch that of Daniel Coyle. Just a little bit wider on the turns, but this is a really nice horse that's going to be coming to some big things, and already made a very good impression in the latter part of the series down in Wellington, Florida earlier on this year. So Kent Farrington into second so far, 49.53. Daniel Coyle leads, 46.8. Tracy Epp in third on 59.42 with those 5. 2 left to come. Callie Schott of the USA, the Southern Archers, Teddy Z. 11-year-old by Candela Z for Callie. Part of the Crusaders team. Should be making those first appearances on the team this year. Crusaders with the prime draw later on today as part of Major League Jumping. Quite a task it looks that Daniel Coyle has set them, bearing in mind Kent Farrington. Again, playing to each of their own plans. Kent sitting on a 9-year-old there. Fast start from Callie. She's going to start attacking this.
Yeah, Kent really wasn't wasting any time, but that time of Daniel Coyle, he was nearly 3 seconds faster, but this is looking really quick as well. As you say, she's got that rhythm, she's got that fast pace up as well. She's just steadying a bit here, just making sure that those fences stay up. She wants to stay ahead of Tracy Epp.
Yeah, just holding to be careful of that Major League vertical. Daniel just undeterred, taking a run at it. There's a chance of second spot though.
45 seconds on the clock at the moment. As you say, she's not going to take the top spot. Ooh, final fence as well.
50.43 and just on the 4 faults. Just that final single vertical sitting in open space there catches them. It is on the 4 and into third for Callie Shot, Teddy Z. So Kent Farrington will keep that second spot at the moment. Daniel Coyle still well ahead of them on 46.8. One to come. Jennifer Waxman and the Skato groups, Skato van der Molenbrug Z. This one again that's performed well right the way through 2 stars over the last couple of seasons as well, whether in Michigan or down in Florida as well. Whether they'll have the pace to catch Daniel Coyle, not so sure, but a double clear here would put them into second or third. She'll have a run at it though.
She's already got the pace up, hasn't she? You can see that she is looking like she's going to go for it. But Daniel Coyle, we knew that he'd set a really... I was going to say, we knew he'd set a tough challenge, but he is now going to take the win.
Yes, that's the difficulty. You get put under pressure. She really set off with a great run down there, but again, that just means the margin for error gets smaller and smaller. Gets the turn inside here, just got to keep enough power to get across that. Unfortunately, doesn't quite work out.
No, but she had to go for it, didn't
Yeah.
she? You know, she wanted to try and be up there with the fast 4 faulters, but sadly, she'll take the 5th spot now.
Again, key part, one half of the hard part done with the clear in the first round, so all assured of good prize money, being a top 5 finisher. And going to finish on the 8 in the end. 55. Just going to get the confirmed time of that for Jennifer Waxman and Skato van der Molenbrug Z. 54.35 is the exact time for Jen there. Going into 5th place, so it's a win for Daniel Coyle. Ivory TCS. He just blows away the rest of the competition. 46.8. Kent Farrington, Landon, 49.53. And Callie Shot and Teddy Z, the fastest, the 4 faulters at 50.43. Tracy Epp in the end for Canada, and Chicago on the 5. And Jennifer Waxman and Skato van der Molenbrug Z finishing on to 5th place. Presentation coming up. Daniel Coyle is dominant in the 2-star here with Ivory TCS. And for him, well, the tune's definitely playing in his direction. Here you go, confirmation of that through our scoreboard. Some exciting horses to watch as well as they come through, and several of those we'll see moving, I'm sure, onto the 5-star classes later on into the year as well. Chicago really looking nice with Tracy Epp, and for a Canada top 4 finish for them, and Callie Shot gave it a good shot there, finishing on the 4th spot on 50.43. But Farrington and Coyle are the 2 double clears to round off our Grand Prix class for the 2-star ranks. Presentation is going to be along in a few moments' time, but it's going to the Irish anthem that plays out for Daniel Coyle.
time for the presentation of awards in our MEI CSI2 Star Grand Prix. Joining us for the presentations on behalf of Thunderbird Show Park, Board Chair and CEO James Hidball, accompanied by President and Operations Director Chris Pack. And now, we go to first place and our champions, Daniel Coyle and Ivory CCS. In second, Ken Farrington and Landon. And in third, Callie Scott and Teddy Z. And now at this time, we do ask that everyone please rise if they are able, and we honor our champion Daniel Coyle with the playing of the Irish National Anthem. And now we do have one more favor to request of Daniel Coyle and Ivory CCS, and that is to lead the way around the ring in today's victory ride for the Two-Star Grand Prix. As they come back around, your champions, Daniel Coyle and Ivory CCS. Followed by Ken Farrington and Callie Scott. Congratulations once again to our top three placements in today's Two-Star Grand Prix. The rest of the top eight were as follows: Tracy F. and Chicago in fourth. And continuing our top five in the jump-off with Jennifer Waxman and Skylar Van de Molenberg. Then out of the first round, sixth place awarded Carrie Ann Boyce Lockhart with CMS Garrett I. Shore, Eric Rowlett, and Cactus Bosnia in seventh. And completing the top eight, that was Jordan Coyle and Costiglione. And as they go in that victory photograph for the others, that is in front of the Major League Show Jumping standings, which will be where we're headed next this afternoon at 3 o'clock. We'll start with the individual competition, followed by the team competition. Major League Show Jumping starting off their leg here at Thunderbird Show Park.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
I'm Danielle Toronto, and we are customers of Marshall and Sterling. They have been amazing for us, for our business. They take care of our farm, our horses, our cars. It's basically one-stop shopping for us.
I'm Jimmy Toronto. Unfortunately, we've actually had to really use Marshall and Sterling for horse death. And I have to say that Marshall and Sterling has been an amazing, amazing company. They have taken care of things. It's been worry-free. The person we deal with, Missy, she takes it all upon herself. Once we go to her with the claim, she does it all for us. And I have to say, since we've been with Marshall and Sterling, I just can't think of going anywhere else. I put all my trust, all my faith in them.
When every second counts, the surface matters. Premier Equestrian features Pro-Tex footing product and Auto Sport base mats. Mats absorb up to 40% of the concussion. Pro-Tex provides maximum stability. Premier Equestrian is the official footing partner of Major League Show Jumping. Contact us about your arena at premierequestrian.com.
The beauty, power, and elegance of warm blood horses is no accident. A history of carefully crafted breeding practices that walk the delicate line of art and science has created a horse that is as strong as it is graceful, so that it may successfully compete at the most elite level in equine sports. Breeders can access an American Stallion station that provides both fresh chilled and frozen semen options with full transparency on semen quality. Set on 800 acres of Lexington, Kentucky bluegrass, Spy Coast Farm is revolutionizing the breeding practices of warm blood horses. World-renowned stallions with proven bloodlines that have successfully competed at the top level of international Grand Prix sport are collected by a resident veterinarian and processed promptly for shipment to a domestic breeder for a timely insemination of their ovulating mare. The experts at Spy Coast Farm are determined to improve your U.S. breeding options by taking the guesswork out of semen quality.
Alden Brown is a proud sponsor of Thunderbird Show Park. Through our long-standing partnership with Thunderbird, we have seen firsthand the incredible impact of their events for competitors, spectators, and the community as a whole. At Alden Brown, we invest in our clients' futures and in the communities where our clients and team members live and work. Community involvement is in our firm's DNA. It was part of our founder's vision nearly 100 years ago and remains a core value of Alden Brown today. Our team members are passionate about supporting their communities, and they give back in a variety of ways. As a firm, we are proud to partner with organizations like Thunderbird Show Park that share our commitment to making an impact on our community now and for generations.